anything about it because it's food. What they're trying to do now is regulate the supplements because they know that people are making huge gains with supplements, but what the people don't realize is if they just pay attention to the oxygen and the pH and the kind of nutrients they're putting in and how clean it is, they don't have to worry about supplementation because they will be able to extract it from their food sources enough to be able to keep the immune system running. Now, as you know, we don't get a lot of minerals in our soil now, which means it doesn't go into the food. But there are ways of supplementing the soil without using their synthetic stuff, using natural minerals, so that when you put it on your soil as you grow your garden food or your farm food, you actually get all those minerals uptaken into the vegetables you eat, which means you've got a full load in your system. Or you spend $36 like I do, and you go up to the website and you get some liquid trace minerals, and you add them in every day, and you wind up getting all the minerals that your body needs for it to use the vitamins it gets from the food. So if you write down on a piece of paper at the very top of the sheet, you're going to put oxygen and pH. And next to that, you're going to put enzymes, because without enzymes, nothing else will work properly anyway. Down below that, you're going to put your liquid trace minerals on the next line, because without that, the vitamins don't uptake. And below that, you put your vitamins. And that's the order and sequence you take care of things in your body. And if you're helping take care of those commensal cells and the inflammation pathways and cleaning out those food molds so you're actually eating food without that stuff, your systems will regenerate and you will build your immune system back up. That's the order and sequence, and it's what we do for every patient out there. And we're an educational group. We don't go out and treat people. We teach them what to do at home so they can do it. And for cancer, let's say you're in late stages, like stage 4. Doc Tunsky reverses that stuff like it's nothing. He's got stacks of them. He caught me 2 weeks before I was going to be dead. He brought me back.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I was done. It was over.
My father is a patient.
Well, you didn't tell me about that. Really? Okay.
All right, I missed that. What did you say?
I said you didn't tell me about that.
Well, no, I didn't get a chance to. I was bedridden for like, oh God, I don't know, 30 days, and it took me a year and a half to learn to walk again, and I got my voice back after about 30 days once he got me rolling. But if you think about it, cancer is easy. You get up the pH up, you get the oxygen up, but if you want to really make the body go fast and you want to kill the cancer cells quickly, there's a product out there called cesium chloride. Now, this is something that if you look it up on your periodic table of elements, you'll notice cesium is on the alkali metal side. That's actually an extremely alkaline substance. And you put that in the body, and it jacks up the cancer cells' pH level to above 8. When they get up to 8, they start dying. When they hit 8.5, they die in a couple of hours. Mm-hmm. So you can wipe all those out quickly, and that gives the body a rest from all that. Because remember, when a cell is toxic and it's coated from years of abuse, McDonald's and all that other garbage and crap that you put in there that's loaded with stuff you shouldn't be eating, and all those candies and sugars, all those different food molds and toxins, you get a little mucus coating around those cells, and it gets harder and harder over time. So now you can't get oxygen in, you can't get water in to hydrate it, you can't get nutrients in if you can't get those in, and you can't get messages through the cell for it to tell it what to do to reproduce or to create whatever hormones it needs. So what you do is you look at those cells and you say, all right, they're sick, they're dying, and if they can't get air, what those will do is through pleomorphism, they will downgrade or devolve into a yeast-eating microform instead of glucose, which is what they live on normally. So they'll eat yeast, and they'll crap lactic acid back out into your system, making you even more acid than you were, which makes your body make more cancer cells. So they multiply, and pretty soon you're at the point where you're getting ruptures all over your skin and you're about ready to die. So if you go ahead and kill them off quickly, yeah, you're going to have a massive Herxheimer reaction, which means you'll get diarrhea, you'll ache and quake. You use the LEDs over the liver and the kidneys to stimulate those organs to actually double their output, and you get rid of it quicker. And all the while, you're jacking up your oxygen using food-grade hydrogen peroxide, using ozone, using all the other things to get your oxygen into your body. And you can get food-grade hydrogen peroxide. Let's see, it's Rebecca's Pure Living I use. They're up on the web. And you put a couple of drops in water. And you do that several times a day with the cleanest water you can. Add your minerals, and you'll be able to start reversing those cells. And if I was to tell anybody at home what to buy for one thing, I'd say get a juicing machine, because you can juice your vegetables, and those juices are the most potent nutrients you can get out there if those are clean veggies. And to give you an example, take the spinach leaf. They've found 100 and some odd thousand compounds in it. They've only been able to isolate 150 or 60.
Yeah.
So what do you want to do? You want to take 5 different bottles of vitamins at $40 a crack? Or do you want to take a handful of spinach, a handful of kale, a couple of carrots, an apple, maybe some Brussels sprouts and a cucumber, and put some celery in? Never make a juice without celery. 3-4 ribs of that, and juice it and drink that in the morning, and get hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of thousands of compounds into your body. And it's extremely alkaline. And it's the fastest and the best way to get your system back to homeostasis, nutritional-wise.
I'm going to ask Aaron a question for a second. Aaron, are you about to switch?
No, not at all.
Okay. I'm just checking. If you need me, I can get Dave to call in or anything. All right.
No, I'm okay.
All right.
I'm very interested in what Jeff has been saying.
Okay, cool.
Same thing if you're trying to do Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. The first thing we do with them is we put an LED on their head to stimulate the electrolytes. We put in liquid trace minerals into their diets, so they actually, and sublingual is best, under your tongue. And those go right to the brain because those are the electrolytes your brain sits in. And then all we do is we put them through detox, strip the brain cells of the toxins. These people come right back to where they were. You get grandma and grandpa back. They're talking to you like they did 20 years ago.
Right.
This stuff is not rocket science. It's simple, and it's easy for anybody.
It really is, because the documentation I have really puts it at a grade school level.
You need to look at this stuff as being grade school level, because that's all it really is. There's no excuse not to teach kids in grade school this technology. It's that simple.
No, you're right. The thing is that are people willing to
do the work,
accept this information? That's what it really comes down to.
Well, you know what happens?
Are they willing to accept it?
What we found, Aaron, is that when they will accept it easiest is when they're just like me, a couple of weeks from death. They're like, holy crap, I don't want to go yet. I'm not done. And then they'll accept it and give it a shot.
But the thing is that the question is, are they going to accept it, or are they going to acknowledge it? That's the thing.
Well,
Here's where the paradox really rises. This is where the paradox rises.
You can't save everybody.
No, you're right. But if we can bring those people in, that's what matters.
Well, what I've found on my site is, and I'll give the site address again because you can get a lot of information off of there on how this is done, and it's www.jeftech.net. And if you go to the detox section, the ozonators are there, the juicing machines are there. The ozonators are really inexpensive. It's programmable. It does 600.
And I will vouch for that because it's absolutely right.
Yeah, most of the ones that do what mine does are about $300. I think we charge $90 or something stupid. But if they just look at what they can do simply, food-grade hydrogen peroxide is cheap. Those drops will last you a couple of years.
Yes, it is.
And when that stuff
but
breaks
the problem
down in your body,
is that, and let me just interject here. The problem is that people will become more or less afraid of embarking on this. Tell me if I'm wrong.
The only reason people would fear it is because they're afraid to take a change from the regular pizza and beer and potato